Why?
I don't. It.
Check your inputs in OBS.
No, yeah. OBS is the thing where it's just like I'm gonna switch your inputs around, even though you didn't tell me to.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Fair Wanderings. My name is Michael.
They could hear you the whole time. They just couldn't hear me.
Right. So when you gave the introduction, they didn't hear any of that.
Right. Exactly.
Lily is unavailable for comment at the moment, so.
Right. So they just heard.
I'm here to announce that I am conducting a hostile takeover of this Twitch channel.
Oh.
Revolution, anarchy.
Yeah. That's not true.
Yeah. So they just saw me talking a bunch, and then you guys just randomly interjecting, and yeah. But
can they hear us now?
Yes. Well, yeah. They
can hear you. Now?
They can hear me now, and now,
okay.
and they can still hear you.
Okay.
Okay. So we just did Lily. We just did Evie. What you been up to?
No. Did you finish Evie?
I was just saying that, like, I've been dying because all the numbers.
This report has been consuming her life, and she's told me about once a day, every day for the past 2 weeks.
Yeah. Also, I've been shifting my sleep schedule, so I'm supposed to be in bed right now.
Oh.
That's okay. My bedtime is 8 o'clock. My wake up time is 4 a.m. And then it's gonna get worse because Berlin time changes, stuff like that.
Right.
So,
yeah.
Yeah.
How far are they ahead? Like 7 hours?
6. It's a 6-hour difference. Okay. Yeah, but I have to get up. I'm not an early person as it is, so it's even harder for me. So I've been training myself to get up early and then earlier, so that I can get to Berlin and not just die. But I'm supposed to have the poster in by tomorrow. We're placing the order to get it printed, so I'm free from this nightmare after that. No, it's not so bad. It's actually been a really cool kind of learning experience. I've been making it in Illustrator, so I've learned a lot of things about Illustrator.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Yeah. I've also been working most of my data in Excel, so I've learned a lot more advanced things about Excel.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully that means next time I have to do this, it'll go easier.
Yeah. Cool.
That has been my life for the past weeks.
That is fair.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Dom, how about you? How are things?
Unfortunately, the man-child I am, I've been staying up to 3 or 5 o'clock in the morning playing Darkest Dungeon.
Sure.
The new expansion came out, and it's like, it's a game that keeps hurting me, but I just keep coming back.
Right.
Like, I could exit the dungeon, or I could push you on a little bit longer to see if there's a secret room somewhere. And I'm like, bad
The experience of getting really into a Darkest Dungeon campaign is pretty similar, I would say, to the experience of snorting cocaine.
You know what? It's about right. I can confirm. I mean,
just like
I know nothing about snorting.
You're just like a little more will make me
that comparison accurately by personal experience.
I have no comment in regards to that.
Ooh, Matt, you're a bad boy. But anyway, I've been working.
Remember when we took 3 weeks off from this game at the start of the series, guys?
Yeah, no, it's fine.
No. The reason I say that is because it's like, oh, if I do a little bit more, I'll be even better, and then it kills you.
Yep, that's how
sounds like Dark Souls.
Yeah, basically it's the the drawing artsy independent version of Dark Souls. The thing about it is, also I've been working pharmacy, so I've been doing a lot of night shifts. So I haven't been needing to wake up past noon. So it's like before noon. So it's like wake up. It's about 1 or 2 o'clock. Of course, I slept in on Sunday because I was supposed to work the fish market, and I came in and it was like the parking lot's empty. No one's here. Can I just go home? It's like, yeah, sure. Bye. That's basically been my week. I've been doing some D&D stuff. My gnome on my server hit level 8, so it's 1 level cleric, 5 level aberration wizard, and everybody's like, "No, I'm too strong." And I'm like, "Yes, I'm the strongest. I am the alpha gnome. I have dubbed myself on my thing as alpha gnome."
That's a good build.
I know, right? It's like
they try to. That's a gross build.
They try to take out my teammate, and I just like arcane war, protect. Oh, you're gonna cast darkness to disappear in 1 note, counterspell. Recharge my orb, drop an acid splash on shit fireball thing, level 4 spell on y'all. Dirt, 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 dirt.
Awesome.
Basically, some dude bros ran up on us, was like, "Hey, bro, you want to fight? We're looking for a sword." Hey, bro, you ever gnome kick before? I mean, gnome punt again. I was like, "Okay, I got your number." And then
You
I
killed
cue
him.
my music, get ready to die, and party, 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 because that's my gnome's theme song.
Sure. Great.
No master race, dog.
Excellent.
Speaking of no master races, are we ready for a recap?
Did you have nothing going on in the last week?
I painted some minis.
Ooh.
Oh, I played an apocalypse scale game of Warhammer.
Ooh.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
I
I
forgot.
played an apocalypse scale game of Warhammer. It was my first experience with Age of Sigmar. It was a little bit like someone saying, "Oh, I enjoy a leisurely stroll and swimming and occasionally riding my bike," and then going out and doing an Ironman. It was a lot of fun, but by the end of it, I was just like, it was like I'd been to, well, it was literally like I'd been to war, because it was like, I think we did the math and we had like 50,000 points worth of units, and the average army is about 1,000.
Ah. That number is bigger than the other number.
That number is significantly bigger than the other number. We won. My team won. I was playing Death, and my hero held the line, and I was very proud of him.
Hold the line.
Coolio.
Exactly.
Coolio.
And Friday night, I'm designing a game about madness, and right now it's a 3-way tie for what game I'm going to design, and I have no idea what I'm going to design.
Awesome. Cool.
If it's a tie by the end, I'm just going to pick. I'm going to see what happens.
There you go.
I did forget one thing. My family has been gone to Texas for about a week, so it's been eerily quiet at my house.
Coolio.
And it's no change for me because I saved my room anyway. So
so for me, I moved. This is a different wall than it was last week.
I know
it's a pretty wall.
It's just plain white wall. I don't have all my art and things up yet, so that will happen when I get to it. Unpacking is just it's a process. There's that. Because I don't do enough random things, I'm learning I'm learning Unity. So that's kind of cool. Games are cool. We good?
Somebody
Who was that?
Okay, cool. That's that. Yeah, the move was the biggest thing from my week, just because it was a lot of stuff. And yeah, things are good. So I believe, I think we're all good. And yeah, so what happened last time?
Last session we had a funeral
right,
for Kirkall. We got to see a burial in the proper Orcish style, and then we interrogated Otto, who gave you some very interesting information about why Icon was attacked, and he seemed to implicate that either a very powerful sorcerer / wizard or a lich wanted Icon destroyed in an effort to capture presumably Andrella's soul. We have no idea why that is.
Well, they just needed a bunch of people to die, so then they could make a Philosopher's Stone.
Possibly. That's one interpretation of it.
Full Metal Alchemist? Nobody? Okay.
No, I was aware. I just wasn't saying anything.
My mouth was I was like, yeah, I get it.
Yeah. They've built. Yeah, over the course of thousands of years, they've built Icon into a perfectly round circle.
Good, excellent, great.
Anyway, so that's not true. Icon's very wibbly wobbly and climbing up mountains and shit. Cecilia made a friend. She found a little snake. Named
her Neffy.
Neffy, which was the nickname for a paladin of Solace that she used to know, who died fighting the Border Princedoms.
I think it's amazing that we all have a pet that represents us.
Mm-hmm. Yours is a mimic. It's the best part. Yours is a mimic that doesn't do anything because it's got like 1 hit point.
But it's my mimic that doesn't.
It's a baby mimic. It like eats rats.
It's pretty
adorable.
great. It's pretty
Hey,
great.
I feed it better stuff than that. I feed it rabbits. Or pieces of rabbits.
So, if memory serves, the last session ended as you were leaving the meeting with Otto.
Yes.
Right, yeah. Yeah, because he was
do you want to pick up right there, or do we want to skip to something else?
I think we should go take care of this meeting with the big chief, because we've been teasing for it for like 4 or 5 episodes.
Mm-hmm. Do you guys want to take a minute to talk about what happened with Otto, or are you just like, okay, that all happened, we'll talk about it later, we got to meet with Ozencon?
Right. Yeah, I don't nothing really to like.
Either way.
Well, what are we gonna do? Like, he broke the law here. We're not gonna vouch for him, man.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, he asked us to be like, hey, you guys should free me and I can travel with you. Like, no.
He specifically didn't do that, actually. He was like, yeah, just leave me here to die because I'm safe in here.
Lily, that was out of game, sir.
No, he wants to stay. Afterwards, I said, oh yeah, Andrella totally is gonna like inscript him and make him come help us.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, so we're just gonna go right to the meeting then.
I think so.
I guess.
Unless anybody wanted to like prepare or anything.
Who's introducing me now this time? My brother?
That works.
Me?
I think you enter. I think you enter, and a group of diplomats are leaving, escorted by 2 large orcs.
Where are they from?
Well, I can describe them. They're all on T. They all have on gray robes. They all have on gray robes and like headdresses with like.
Oh. Like, oh no.
What? Like long, like bony looking things. You just realize what kind of onesie they are.
Yeah.
Wait, what kind?
The gray is the Serpent of Despair.
Oh
no! They're edgelords.
Yep.
Or emos.
I think. Well, they fill a different role, and Cecilia would know this. They're kind of the like.
Hello, darkness, my old friend. Can we meet again?
The servants of what's that god's name? Sashiki are oracles and like messengers primarily. Like they travel to places warning of bad news. So the fact that they're here means something bad has happened. They're not a good thing to see, but they're not really a bad thing either because it means information is being disseminated. If that makes any sense.
Is Cecilia going to find out what the bad thing was that happened?
Should I
one of them like sees you and like doffs his headdress.
Like, hey.
So yeah, they're like coming out and you like walk over to talk to them. Does anyone else join her or is it just Cecilia?
I kind of look towards the princess to see if I should go. Like if she goes, I go. If not, I kind of stay back. So I'm kind of like, do I wait?
Andrella's totally distracted in her own head at the moment.
Well, I
she
guess
probably has idly followed Cecilia, but she's totally not paying attention to what's happening at the moment.
So
she's
I probably
thinking lots of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think the man looks at you and recognizes you instantly, and it's just like, Lady Ashcott, you are a long way from home.
So are you.
What can I say? News is never good when I'm around, so I tend to keep on the move.
Oh,
huh?
I'm sure there's
like
good reasons.
A little bit of gallows humor. They're kind of known for that, right? And I think there's like this like back and forth between your god and like their servants, where it's like tries to make them like less grim, but it just never works, and it ends up being like, yeah, like gallows humor. They're like, we find joy in gallows humor because what else are we gonna do? He like bows to you.
Can I ask what news brought you up here?
Ill tidings from the homeland. The angels from Lucia Benita are attacking on multiple fronts.
Oh.
The Zardominos worries they plan to encircle the city of the serpents.
I see.
We were sent here to warn the Jade Horde and possibly lay the groundwork for the arrival of a white servant who could potentially negotiate a collective war effort.
That's certainly troubling.
Mm-hmm. Your father has been fighting well, but
my father's involved.
Of course, the Zardominos is involved. He's been leading troops from the front since the solstice, which was right about the time Icon fell.
Yeah.
For reference.
Right, and the reason I say that is because if my father's involved with his troops, that means it's bad.
Oh like, yeah, your father.
Like, because if it was just a small thing, the troops of Solace would be just handling it.
The black serpents.
Right. Both of them are involved. So that's
the wordless death guard.
Right.
Are involved. And if the Zardominos is involved in defending the homeland, all the serpents are involved in defending the homeland.
Right. Yeah. Like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Like I'm sure there is a detachment of gray agents that are keeping watch over battlefields and recording information. And
right. Yeah. There's probably a platoon of silver servants healing and
doing
everything.
Medicine.
Basically being.
Blue agents carrying out assassinations.
Yeah.
And of course, the red serpents are the berserkers on the front line.
Yeah.
Not giving a fuck.
Coolio.
But yeah, if the Black Legions are involved, bad things are happening.
Right. Yeah. That's why I was like, oh, this is this is big. Okay. So yeah, I think just well.
After this, we plan to head south, try and recruit some of the Corsairs. The homeland needs you if you're able to return anytime soon.
Yeah, we might. I'll have to see how our meeting goes, but yes. I will definitely try to do that.
Best of luck.
Thank you. You too, and your.
He bows and then leaves.
When they get out of earshot, I lean over to Cecilia and I say, "You're not bound anymore. You fulfilled the oath. You can go if you need to."
Yeah.
Hey, friend, go fight my kinsman.
I mean, it's Lucia Benedicta, and I didn't necessarily grow up very close to the country itself of people.
Still fighting Azamar.
But...
Yeah.
What? They have no chill.
I'm trying to figure out the way to ask it, but I think she just comes do you have any idea why they would be attacking like that?
Make a history check.
Oh, I might.
Yeah.
I was gonna straight up say I don't, but I might. Oh, I do.
Woohoo!
So the Yunti and the Azamar have never really been on good terms.
Mm-hmm.
And there have been small skirmishes throughout their collective histories.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Azamar trading ship will get raided by Yunti pirates, and then Azamar punitive expedition comes by, and they're repelled by the Gray Serpents or the Red Serpents or whatever, and it's just back and forth. They don't usually put concerted effort into fighting the Yunti.
Okay.
But the prevailing assumption by everybody that's not a Yunti or an orc, basically, is that the Yunti are demon spawn.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah, I thought that.
It makes sense to you that with all the weirdness that has been happening, that it seems that the Solars are at least tangentially aware of, their first reaction would be kill the demons.
Kill the heretics.
Angels are not known for their clarity of judgment.
Or smarts.
In a lot of ways. They're very intelligent, but they're driven by assumptions and plans.
Oh, yeah, you know what? Fair enough. They're not clever. They're just very...
organized.
They're straightforward.
Yeah,
it's straightforward. It's like, we could think about this, but there could be heresy over there. Let's not take that risk.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh. I'm sure there's an angelic expression that's like, it's something to the effect of the best way to cure, and it's something to the effect of like the best way to cure possession is judicious application of steel, right? Like angels don't fuck around. Strictly bitch, they don't play around, cover much ground. Got game by the pound. No?
No.
Like the way you work it. No, oh, come on.
Anyway,
Pat. What's up next?
Yeah, so I basically convey all of that to Cecilia and be like, I mean, so I didn't necessarily grow up in Lucy Benedicta, but my father certainly still taught me a lot of how they think, to include that you're not natural creatures. And when things are bad happening in the world, it's really easy to blame it on the not natural creatures.
It's a really racist way to explain racist thinking.
Right. That was just like...
Echo just had that face of like...
Real, yeah. That was like just super fucking offensive.
Basically what you just said is like... Germans and Jews don't get along, and you know what happens, right?
Right.
That's
like,
basically what you just said.
Right. Just
yeah.
They're just, yeah.
Angela's gotten better, but she's not cured.
You poor stupid child.
Basically.
Well,
Andrella, can you roll your charisma for me real quick?
Oh. Just the charisma straight up?
Yeah, charisma save.
Charisma save?
Yeah.
God damn it. Who touched me?
+0.
I don't understand why that's there.
That
oh wow, you rolled really badly.
I rolled
a 3.
Wait, are you?
Yeah, you think you feel something like the wind blows your hair kind of funny, and it feels a little bit like someone's touching you, but they're not there. There's nobody there.
I still swish away. So maybe I make that statement, and then I kind of, before putting in additional words to either make it better or worse, I get distracted by this, and I'm like,
Well, you know we didn't cause any of that stuff, right?
Yes, I know that.
Do you think it'd be possible to convince them of that fact?
Well, Michael,
Sure.
my grandmother, is she a higher-ish general, like has some level of clout and authority?
I mean, yeah. She's like one of the most powerful warrior angels in the world.
Okay.
Doesn't necessarily mean she's involved in this campaign, but
No, but like she would have the ability to potentially like have sway and influence on what's happening if she were to come out and make a statement about a thing, right?
Yeah,
or at least
sure.
or at least I might perceive it that way, considering my mother attempted to solicit her assistance at one point.
I just see like the grandma come down from the heavens. Wrong heretics, kill the other heretic.
Yes.
I just see that just coming down. And like, well, the lady spoke. Wrong heretic.
Yeah, I think I kind of think about it, and I'm like, so, I mean, my grandmother, if she were to make a statement on this, could potentially provide influence. But also, I think my grandmother knows. So, I mean, I can certainly stand up and try to make a statement about this, try to have an influence. I'm not opposed to doing that for you. I'm just very uncertain about how much weight it might carry and how much impact it might have. I'm pretty sure my grandmother knows what's actually happening, or at least has a fair idea of it, to an extent that if this is still occurring, I don't know that she necessarily has the influence, or maybe not the desire, to do anything about it. But I will try.
Do you think seeing you would at least give them some sort of pause?
Probably.
I don't know, maybe. I mean, considering that they are potentially responding to the problems occurring in what is my home nation, and I were to make a statement about the nature of those problems not being caused by the Yanti, I imagine that would mean something.
Right.
I'm very sorry, Cecilia.
Well, we're here to talk with the Ozenkhan, so let's take care of that, and then we can figure out what we're going to do.
Do you want to sit out? You don't have to go in with me, especially if you have things that you need to consider now.
No, I'm not going to duck out. It's fine.
Okay.
I give Cecilia a giant hug.
I do too. That's a great idea.
I think I say like in Orcish, like I try to I say thank you, large friend.
You have a friend in me.
Yeah, I think I think you're ushered inside by some guards. There are a few people milling about inside. I think Ozenkhan is sitting up on a high-backed chair at the head of a large table.
Okay.
He kind of sits lazily, and he's rubbing his forehead, and you can see him briefly scratch under his eye patch before looking up and kind of smiling at you and motioning and saying clear the room in Orcish. And his various attendants and the other diplomats leave, some of them giving you kind of weird looks.
Oh, because they just got the bad news about angels.
Well, yeah, and they're also like some of them are whispering. It's like that's that's Kirkal's Kirhat or whatever or something like.
Oh,
like
that
news
news
has
has gotten
spread.
around too. Okay.
Oh, totally. Totally.
Great.
This is the next day, right? We had a rest before.
This is the next day. This is the next full day.
I just wanted to know to reset all my stuff.
Yep.
And he
Okay.
Yeah, and so the only people left in the room are Taymond, your father, your father, Ozan Khan, and a like guard that's standing on the far end of the room.
Okay.
He has like a faceplate on, so you can't see what he looks like.
I keep my eye on that guard.
I come forward and I do the greeting, like, I don't know. I guess I think that Vosenland bows.
Yeah.
I think we do the bow thing. So I come forward and I bow and I say, thank you for seeing me, Ozan Khan.
No need for the formalities, Andrala. Please have a seat.
Okay. I sit down, and Cecilia and Echo have seats.
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Echo, can you make a perception check for me?
Don't put love off on me, honey. Cry for 100 years.
Okay, yeah. So the guard is totally looking at a fixed point in space just behind Andrilla. And then you see him lift his visor of his helmet and then like make a blowing motion. And then he kind of smirks and then just like goes back to looking forward.
I kind of looked towards the spot he was looking for, and I kind of put myself in between them. Kind of like that, kind of like, let me just stretch up forward and...
Yeah, he's no longer looking at it now. I think he just looks at you and just shrugs, maybe coughs.
Scratch my chin.
Ozan Khan like leans forward and says, I'm sorry we were meeting under these circumstances. What would you like to discuss?
As I understand it, you've had some bad news, and I unfortunately don't bring anything to cheer you up. I apologize for that. As you're aware, the war efforts between the Kadrian Confederation and my nation, Vosenland, seem to have come to a conclusion. And there appear to be some rather dire consequences. You may already know some of this, having spoken to Otto, who is currently residing within your cells. But the city of Aiken, it not only fell through war conquest, but has come under the influence of an undead power.
Like scratches his like gray stubble.
I have a personal vested desire to see my city liberated because these are still my people. I still care for them. And I wish them to be able to rest peacefully and potentially have that space to rebuild as they need. But even beyond that, I have been being petitioned by the Grey-Eyed Raven to lift the blight upon the city, since the ravens are unable to do their job and all the souls are still trapped there.
He briefly like looks at Taymond and then looks at the guard and then like nods.
I had to make a choice as to who I would come to for this assistance to request. And I know that the nation of Vosenland has not historically had a lot of positive interactions with the Jade Horde. But I come here not just representing Vosenland as a nation, not simply representing the royal family. come here representing the people in that city, asking for help to right something that is fundamentally, unnaturally wrong.
I think you like roll a persuasion check for me. I just kind of want to see how you're doing.
All right. Anyway,
this isn't hinging on if he'll help you or not.
Okay.
But I just want to see like where he's at.
Okay. I'm doing all right.
I think as you kind of like start another bit of your like speech that you've clearly prepared, kind of like raises a hand, like, just thank you. Your desire to help people who you no longer have an obligation to is admirable. Andrella, you are in a unique position from someone of your station. You are a beast of no nation now. And yet you still wish to risk your life for these people. That is something I can respect. However, I hope you don't underestimate the consequences of what you're asking.
After having spoken with Otto, thank you for allowing me that audience, by the way, I am very well aware of the gravity the consequences of what I'm asking for could result in.
For your people and for mine, if I choose to get involved.
Yes. If I understand it correctly, there is an individual of immense power who may or may not be a lich that is at the center of this. At this point,
I think that's when you feel like a hand on your shoulder, and like the guard has like somehow crossed the room and is right behind you.
Okay, so we've talked about this. I don't like being touched.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna jump and I'm gonna electrocute through my body. Sure. And I'm gonna,
roll to hit, please.
18. Why is this +0? What is this?
I don't, what is, what?
Yeah, you very clearly shock them, but it doesn't seem to do anything.
Oh, snap.
Is there a weird thing on the rolling or something? Like,
and I actually think he does the like brush off his plate, and then in a very like androgynous kind of voice, just says, "First rule about dealing with powerful spellcasters is not to talk about them in places that aren't secure." And he like actually like reaches down and like taps you on the side of the head, like, think about it, and then goes back to his post.
And Ozenkhan looks like, this is totally okay for his guard to have done?
Yeah, totally.
Okay.
Wait a minute. So his office is not secure?
It's not magically secure.
Fair enough.
At the very least, in a way that Andrella doesn't know.
Andrella's still not a very powerful magic caster yet.
Mm-hmm.
And her learning got cut short.
Yeah, and I think Ozenkhan says they are correct. Saying such things aloud is dangerous. Be very careful who you tell that to.
There's a lot that's been dangerous lately. I think it's potentially more important to make sure that you explicitly know this and run that risk than to allow you to, by accidental omission, walk into something that's greater than you expected.
That is admirable of you. But drawing unnecessary attention to this meeting could be just as detrimental.
Okay.
I have a question. for all of you, feel free to come to the decision as a group. I was brought a prisoner by you when you arrived to this city.
Yes. I'd forgotten about that.
What should be her fate?
That is no longer up to us to decide. The
I'm
prisoner is
asking you.
given to you.
I don't accept gifts of people. I'm asking what you think should be done.
It is a individual who, as I'd understood it, was in standing of criminal behavior against you and your nation and your people, and so was brought to you for you to exact the necessary levels of justice and balance out the social scales that you need.
I'm aware of that. I am asking the princess with no nation to render judgment. As I remember correctly, you bear witness to this woman's accused crimes.
The extent of the witness that I bear is that she was a party to some thugs that attacked us. It's not entirely clear to me what their motivations were.
You see Echo cough slavery.
It's not entirely clear. And as such, I don't feel confident in making a statement about what should be done with them.
I think he considers that for a minute. I can tell you what I would do based on what I know. I know I've been dealing with Dark Elf pirates and slavers for a little over a month. The punishment for slavery and the slave trade here is severe. What verdict would you render?
If those are the statutes by which this land is run, it sounds like the judgment should be probably death.
Yeah, I think he nods. Kind of. Actually, everybody can make an insight check.
Not so good.
Damn.
Echo.
I'm working on it.
Yay.
Yeah, Echo, he's disappointed. That wasn't the answer he was hoping for. But it's also very clear he's testing Andrella to see how she negotiates this kind of situation as a leader.
See me step forward a little bit. It's like different custom for different people. May I proceed on? I believe that she should be given community service to right the wrongs of the community.
Echo, I mean, while something like that might work in a community that would view this crime at a level where that is an appropriate punishment, the Ozenkhan said that this is one of the most severe crimes they have and worthy of a severe punishment.
Oh no, like community for a long term. 10 years, maybe 20.
Extended prison sentence.
Yeah, but with hard labor, of course. Being an elf, that's like a drop in the hat, but she'll definitely remember that
Well, that's why an extended sentence for an elf wouldn't matter very much. You would need it to be long enough for that to have an impact on their life. And given the culture here as a nomadic one, I wouldn't imagine that being able to enforce hard labor is particularly easy to do when things are moved around often. In Vosenland, that would certainly be fully acceptable to do.
So one of your advisors has given you a course of action, and you have suggested another.
And I went back to our other advisor.
Suggesting that it is the circumstances which need to be taken into consideration for this decision.
Or there could be a chance to redeem her.
If this culture that she is now operating inside of would allow such a thing, that would always be the best choice.
He just nods and says, very well. I will allow you to collect volunteers, but I need the bulk of my forces to deal with these slavers and assist our allies in the Sultanates.
So you're telling me that if we were to assist in getting rid of these slavers, you'll
Echo, please.
Okay.
He's not wrong.
You are letting me know that you have two other fronts requiring your directing and attention.
I have two other fronts requiring a commitment of resources and manpower that I cannot split effectively among three.
If I can help to address those fronts, would you be of a mind and willing to redirect those resources back towards Icon?
If the state of play changes, I am more than willing to acknowledge the changed state.
I may have the ability, the influence to alter the state of those two fronts. Allow me to go see what I can do. And perhaps we can pick this up again.
We will reconvene in a week.
Okay.
He stands, and Taman gets his chair. Cecilia, what are you doing right now? You look kind of.
And she was like, "What?"
Wait, a week isn't long enough for us to go to both places, right?
It's definitely not.
Right. I was like, so how? What? Okay, sure. Whatever.
We're going pirate killing.
Here's the deal. There is no way you can resolve the 1T front in enough time for him not to have to send troops down there. That's just the reality. Deal with the slaver front or the Icon front. You have options, or you can ignore all of them and go help the 1T.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, this is out of game talk. If we can resolve the Dark Elf front, then we could potentially make the Icon front and the mobilizing of troops to the 1T a singular continuous front, since Icon is sort of on that direction traveling.
Yeah.
So like a march south? I mean...
And stop at Icon first and then continue down to the 1T.
Just putting out there out of game, I'm just saying the Undead City ain't going nowhere anytime soon.
Yeah, but it's only going to get worse if you don't fix it.
But
yeah, also, Andrella has a severe motivation.
but also going there half cocked with 1/3 of army.
Also, Andrella has a
third of an army
severe
is
motivation.
I'm just saying,
one third,
we want to do.
Also, we wouldn't be doing 1/3 of an army. We'd be taking the whole army, march them towards the Wanti via Icon. But what I'm saying.
The thing about it is we have to do one thing first before we can do the other.
Do we
I
want
think
to?
I think now's a good time to take a break, and you all can talk about this during the break, and then we can come to a decision when we come back.
Alrighty, we're gonna take a break. Do your thing. See you in a few minutes. Enjoy the music, and we'll be right back.